On our anniversary, my wife said, "I'm not your property. I'm opening our marriage, kissed my best friend, and went on a trip with him. I changed the locks and started the divorce." A week later, I had 98 calls from her. My daughter yelled, "How dare you evict mom over this? You're an insecure loser if you can't accept new reality. You failed as a dad, failed as a husband, and as a man." I gave her a DNA test saying, "Don't ever call me again. I will sue for all the money I spent on you." Let me back up. We'd been married 18 years. I'm 42. Cassandra's 39. Our anniversary dinner was supposed to be at Giovanni's, this Italian place where I proposed. I'd made reservations 3 months in advance. I invited my best friend Troy because Cassandra always said she loved his sense of humor. Troy and I had built our construction company from nothing over 15 years. We were brothers in everything but blood. I got to the restaurant first, waited 20 minutes. When Cassandra walked in, Troy was right behind her. Weird, but I figured they carpooled. Then she sat down, grabbed my wine glass, and said those words, "I'm not your property. I'm opening our marriage." Before I could process it, she leaned across the table and kissed Troy, full on. His eyes went wide with horror. He actually pushed her away and said, "What the hell, Cassandra?" She laughed, told me she and Troy had been discussing this for weeks, that he was ready to explore things with her, that I could either accept it or be left behind. Troy stood up. "Dude, I never said any of that. She's lying." I looked at my wife, at this woman I'd worked 60-hour weeks for, who I'd supported through her master's degree, who I'd built a life with. I stood up, dropped 3 20s on the table, and walked out. Troy followed me to the parking lot. Man, I swear on my life, she's been harassing me for months. I have proof. He pulled out his phone, showed me screenshots dating back 4 months. Messages from Cassandra. Explicit photos I never want to see again. Her showing up at our job sites in outfits that left nothing to imagination. Messages saying she'd tell me Troy made advances if he didn't give her a chance. I felt sick, but I didn't break down. I've learned you can't show weakness. People will destroy you. I told Troy to send me everything. Then I called a locksmith. At midnight, my locks were changed. At 8 a.m. the next morning, I met with my lawyer. Cassandra had taken that trip anyway. $15,000 charged to our joint account. A couple's resort in Cancun, except Troy never went. He was at my house helping me box up her stuff. We moved everything to a storage unit. I paid for 2 months. Left the key and address on the kitchen counter with divorce papers. My daughter Willow, she's 16. She lost it when she came home from her friend's house. Started screaming about how I'd made her mom homeless. How I was a controlling, insecure loser who couldn't handle a modern relationship. I asked her one question. "Did your mom tell you where she was?" She went quiet. I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshots Troy had sent. All of them. "Willow, there's something else." The messages included things Cassandra had said about our kids. How Willow was a mistake that ruined her figure. How she resented having children because it trapped her in marriage. How she wasn't even sure I was Willow's real father because she'd had an affair 17 years ago. My daughter's face went from red with rage to white as paper. I handed her a DNA test kit. "This is for you, not because I doubt your mind, but because your mother created that doubt, and you deserve to know the truth." Willow took it with shaking hands. Cassandra came back 5 days later, tanned, relaxed, ready to talk about our new arrangement. She found the storage unit key, an empty house, and a process server waiting on the porch. The 98 calls started that night. Voicemails ranged from apologies to threats to begging to rage. I saved every single one for my lawyer. Willow's test came back. She's mine. When I told her, she cried for an hour, then asked if she could stay with me through the divorce. Cassandra's already hired 3 different lawyers. Each one quit after seeing the evidence. Troy's considering a restraining order. Me? I'm just waiting for the court date and teaching my daughter that love doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. That self-respect isn't the same as being controlling. Sometimes the villain in their story is just the hero who finally stopped playing victim in yours.